That's Jack Dorsey, CEO of Twitter. He's saying, yes, the company is left-leaning, like a lot of companies in Silicon Valley. Remember, Facebook's Mark Zuckerberg also said the same, that Silicon Valley is left-leaning. He did that in testimony he set up for Congress. Let's take a check of stock in Twitter. End of the day up almost 5%. We're bringing in conservative, veteran, former U.S. Special Forces, Jim Hansen. Now, what did Twitter do with you? What do you say about Twitter?
Well, and it's not just me. They implemented what they call a quality filter that allows a liberal mob to attack conservative accounts using some of the tools Twitter built them, including these mass block lists where the liberals have gathered hundreds of thousands of conservative accounts. And Twitter built them a tool where with one push of a button, they can block those accounts, and Twitter counts that as a black mark against the account. So they're using this as kind of a heckler's veto. And it's affecting a lot of conservatives. It's affecting Republican politicians who are being, their accounts are not being seen as much as their Democrat opponents. So at some level, Twitter's causing themselves not just problems with their users, but potentially with government agencies that have oversight of things like that.
So what you're saying is you were shadow banned too. In other words, if you're on Twitter and you search for you and your Twitter account, that your account did not come up in the search. Is that it?
It comes up at a lower level. So I have a verified account, I have a certain number of followers, but when this quality filter ban was applied to my account, the number of people who see my tweets dropped by more than half. The number of people who were joining to follow me each month dropped by about 1/10 to about 1/10 of what it was. So they're limiting the amount of reach that my account has and thousands of other conservatives. And that's just not a way to do business, especially when Jack's saying that's not what they're doing. Your CEO has to tell the truth.
Has Twitter reached out to you? Are you getting any communication from Twitter?
We've had a couple meetings with them, and what they keep doing is saying, we didn't intend to do that. We didn't build a tool that does that, like he just said. But the problem is, if that's what your tool does, if that's the actual outcome, then you're responsible to your shareholders, you're responsible to your users, and you're responsible to fix that or stop saying you have a content-neutral platform if you don't. And at this point, they don't. All we want is a level playing field, and right now, Twitter's not giving us that.
All right, so we also have this story. Someone threatened NRA's Dana Loesch's children with murder. Here's the threat. The only way these people learn is if it affects them directly. This came up in a tweet. So if Dana Loesch has to have her children murdered before she'll understand, I guess that's what needs to happen. That came up in a tweet. How is that okay to come out like that for that?
It's not, and that's another example of where that left-wing bias that Jack admitted to shows itself. Because when something like that happens, and Dana reported that, and then no action was taken.
Okay.
Now, if that had been a conservative threatening Obama's kids, I'll guarantee you right now,
awful.
black helicopters would have swooped them up.
Yeah, it's disgraceful. Jim Hansen, thank you so much. We really appreciate you and your service to our country.